She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one. Cause we dance on the floor, spin around. She says, I am the one. You go potty, don't you? Alright, it's 6:30 in the morning. It's just enough daylight to kind of see around. The sun's gonna come up pretty soon. I mean, look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. Ooh. This is one beautiful spot. I'm right now already convinced I'm going to stay here at least one more day. Maybe two. I love, from 5:30 in the morning to like 7:30 in the morning. It's before the sun really comes up. But everyone is like anticipating the warmth coming. So they're all making noise and all the animals are kind of out. It's really pretty. If you want to watch nature right before the sun goes down and right before the sun comes up, it's a really good time to just be out in nature. Let's zoom in on the boat so we get. Oh yeah. I am after that one picture, the thumbnail picture. And I feel like this morning might have it. Although that big cloud just kind of moved in and blocked the sun coming up, so it got a little bit less orange, so we'll see. So Wolf Island from here, I mean, maybe we could go over there. We might do that, but we'll see. It's got a pretty stiff cliff on the side where we would land, so I haven't gone over there yet. This is pretty cool. Look at how still the water is here. There's not going to be any wind today. I mean, today is typically going to be very little wind. So, I'm having a mental dilemma with myself. It's Sunday, which means there's going to be more people on the water. And typically I don't travel on weekends. So, I don't know. But it's such a calm day that I think I should just at least drive the boat up. And if the lock is open and able to go through, I should try it. But I kind of want to stay here. I'm kind of caught in the middle of the excitement of going through a lock versus staying here. And then, like, tomorrow is going to be 9 and 10 mile an hour wind. Today's going to be no wind, so it's my first lock. I probably should. I'm just going to go. It'll be pretty on the other side of the lock, too. It doesn't need to be here, I'll go. We'll see. Right, bud? You want to go through our first lock? Yeah? Look how serious he is. So, yeah, it was perfect reflection water, and then the river put some ripples in it. He's my excitement out of most days. He's the thing that gives me the most excitement. Yeah, look at this. So, rope swing, right? Beautiful tree rope swing. Beautiful tree rope swing. No, do I have my phone upside down, or is the world upside down? So Cricket hides underneath the fireplace, and I started to untie the lines and make it look like we're leaving, so she went down there. River took his hood ornament spot where he's ready to just, take in the whole world. He is a traveling dog. He's never known anything other than traveling. If I take him into someone's house, he'll walk right up to the kitchen table and pee on it. He has no clue what being in a house is. He doesn't get it. The only thing he knows is boats and RVs. Pickup trucks and dinghies. Alright, so we're going to go out of here the way we came in. We're going to go to the main channel and basically just start heading towards Pickwick Lake. It's kind of cool. On the other side of Wolf Island from where I was parked, there's a barbecue and then like an actual, I don't know, probably a family sign I can't make out, and a swing, tree swing, And then a bunch of chairs stacked up where they come and barbecue. That's really cool. You see the anchors in the wheel? My mom would love that. When she was alive, she would do stuff like that in our porch. She had like fishing nets and huge lures all set up. That's cool. We have turned from rock bottom to sand. I'm sure it's going to go back and forth, you know, depending on how close we get to the mountains. But this is beautiful. I mean, it's going to be 75 degrees today, and that's a beautiful beach to just spend all day on. I would collect some driftwood, but I have, you know, 3 days of wood in the bottom of the seat already, and I'm hoping I won't need it, you know. One thing I regret is not bringing like winter stuff, like gloves and stuff. I have one pair of long underwear. I don't have any gloves, and that got frustrating. But once you start moving around, you're okay. See, they just got a little lakefront property, and they got their RVs there, and then a whole yard set up, you know, fire pit, and yeah, and then if it floods, you just move your RV. Look at, they got their floating dock right there. Yeah, that's a cool little setup. I could absolutely see doing that. I don't know what taxes are right along the river. 20 years ago, I watched, basically, you know, I used to watch a lot of buying houses show. I was a landlord. So, one of the things that I saw was when they first started this idea of making land along the riverways usable RV spots where you could run electricity, you could build a permanent roof if it was made correctly to have water run through it. You know, you couldn't build walled structures because the walls just get washed away and the pillars don't, you know. And you could actually buy it, and it was the first time you know, people were talking about buying land that was zoned and specific for RV, and you could not build a house on it. Like, you could build some kind of portable sheds or some limits to it, and it was going for like, you know, $20,000 for a small spot all the way up to $120,000 for like a full acre. And now as I go down this river, it is very clear that that is a business model that just has taken off. It kind of makes sense. I see it. I understand it.
If you thought that you loved me, well, trust me, you didn't. The proof's in your lies and your toxic decisions. Temptation crept in, it didn't take much convincing. I'm not sure what love is, but I know what it isn't. Begging me to listen, say you learned your lesson. Swearing on your mother they were minor indiscretions. If you could go back, you would change it in a second.
It's already 68 degrees and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm in a strong current area, which means my 3.5 knots on land is not 3.5 knots. I am looking over there, and I am pretty sure that a person could walk faster than me. Now imagine that. I'm going hundreds of miles, and someone could walk faster than I can get there. That's crazy. We'll zoom in so you can see just how slow the lane goes by. This is the way to get a good look at the country, though. You know what I mean? A very good look at it. No one will ever say, oh, I missed that. Oh, I didn't see that. Let me look. We got to turn around. That doesn't happen. So yesterday, about 6 hours in, the motor started to sputter. First thing I did was check to see if the starter had like engaged and the motor was fighting the starter. That actually happened while we were hooking it up. So I was worried that I came back. But then in my head, I was like, stop worrying about the starter and just try to think about the actual problem that's happening. And it sputtered. Like, one or two of the cylinders wasn't firing. So I thought it's got to be gas. And I had filled up my gas all the way for the first time by using jerry cans and no gas came out of the little air holes that tell you, hey, it's full, stop pumping. So I thought they're clogged, and I thought there was a vacuum that was caused by taking a few gallons of gas out. First thing I did was open up the gas tank, and then I took it out of gear and I throttled back and throttled forwards to see if I could push through whatever was stopping the gas getting through. And I was able to. I was able to just rev it. Not full rev, but pretty dang close. And it fought through it, and then it ran for a while. 2 hours later, same thing happened. I did the same thing without the gas tank this time. I just neutral, revved it, let it go. Then I pull into the anchorage, and then I cut it down to 3 RPMs. I cut it down, I don't have an RPM meter. I cut it down to 3 knots instead of 3.7. And it was driving no problem for the next half an hour, and then I anchored. I called my buddy who works on tractor motors. This is a tractor motor with a marine setup, so this motor was made to go on a farm tractor. He said to me, first thing you need to do is look at where you and Tanner were working. Because if something goes wrong immediately after you fix something, you probably bumped a wire or bumped some pipe or bumped something while you were taking the starter out. And I was like, that's the life lesson I need to know. I'm surprised I'm 46 years old and I don't know that yet. I didn't know that. So hearing that is cool, and I wanted to pass that on to you guys. The other thing I did was, he said to me that it sounded like there was air in the fuel line. And that fuel lines can get to the point where, sorry, just looking to see if we're going to miss that log. Fuel lines can get to the point where they're letting air in, but they're not leaking fuel. And that would cause a loss of suction and not be able to fuel to it. The other thing is, they could just pinch. Like if you get enough suction in them and they're old enough, they pinch and don't let anything through because they don't hold the circle anymore. So I went in there thinking, maybe they didn't replace the fuel lines when they rebuilt my whole motor. They replaced them all. So they're brand new lines. So then I realized my fuel water separator was filled with water, and I drained it. So it might have been water coming through the line. I also realized that it had not been tightened all the way. It was just moving, so it could have been air bubbles from it shaking and vibrating the fuel, like shaking before it came into the system. So I tightened that up and I drained the water. What else? I checked the oil, obviously. Oil is dirtier than I would think. And then here we are. And I haven't had any problems yet this morning. So I'm babying it. I'm going slow. Maybe just driving really, really fast. Or maybe I don't know what fast is, and 4 knots is too fast to go against the current for 10 hours, 7 hours. I don't know. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it all out. It would be great to be in a place where the motor doesn't matter and I'm just using sails. Because if I tear a sail, I have 5 sails. I don't, you know what I mean? It's not like I have 5 engines. Not every sail can be used in every situation, so I don't technically have 5 sails, but I mean, I have 5 sails, but not all of them can be used. Alright, we are approaching the lock, and look how slow the current has picked up. We're in 18, 17 feet of water, and the current's really affecting the boat. I have a bunch of trawlers coming behind me. Kind of sucks because it would have been cool to just try to do this all by myself. I might let them go. I don't know. We're gonna see. They might just pass me and get to the lock way before me. I have a couple miles before them. We'll see. Don't know if you can check them behind me. Yep. That was my first radio contact with anyone. The boats behind me just called and asked me which way they wanted me to pass, whether they wanted to pass on the right or the left. I'm all the way over here, so I just told them to pass on the starboard side. And they're super polite and obviously having a good morning. It was really, never had that happen. But this is cool because it was a good radio check for me trying to deal with the dam and lock. I haven't checked my radio since I've been here. I plugged that radio in more than 2 years ago and it charged, and I've never plugged it in again. I lost the charger and it still got full batteries from 2 years ago. I have a ship radio plugged in too to my 12 volts, so I'd be fine without it, but I don't have to go downstairs. Them breaking the current in front of me is making, I jumped up a half a knot by being inside their V. That's crazy. So at 3 knots, when you go up by 0.5, you know, that's a significant jump. Yeah, it's like 15%. It's crazy. Alright. I'm not only nervous, I'm antsy. It doesn't help that my 3.5 knots is going like 1 knot towards the dam, and I got 5 miles or 10 miles to get there, and it's taking forever, and I wish it would just be over with. But kind of is what it is, you know? Look at all those little turtles. They're so far away, but there are like 50 turtles right there. They're little tiny turtles. This is just like the Ohio River, where your engine goes a little bit faster than the current. That's it. And you're just 2 more trawlers. Both of them called to ask if they should pass on the starboard. It's pretty cool. Current's picked up. I'm back going over 3 knots still because it's kind of deep, but the current is definitely picked up. You can tell we're getting up to the dam. So this is interesting. I lost their radio communication already. So I don't know how far they are ahead of me, but it seems like about a mile. I don't know. I'm not good at that. But them talking to each other just went out of range with my little walkie-talkie radio. Okay, I feel pretty small. My dam boat is going to go through the dam water and jump over that dam right there. Yeah, it's interesting. This whole concept is really kind of cool and creepy too. So, guess I own a life jacket. I know you guys didn't think that, but I do. And I think from what I saw online, there's 2 things that I saw. One, you have to wear a life jacket. Everyone in the boat has to wear a life jacket to go through. Number 2, you can't tie off on the bollards. You have to run your rope around them and tie back to the boat. So the length of your rope is important, and I have a long rope. I'm hoping I can tie up on the port side, but whatever, we'll move it if we gotta move it. This is exciting. I've driven over these things so many times. Yeah. You would think that I would have done a lock at some point in some kind of boat somewhere in my life, but I haven't. I haven't. For some reason, this is something that I haven't done before. So I'm going to drive up and go right around that concrete wall, I think. On the right of it. All the water coming out of the lock. It's rushing out of the bottom of the lock like it's spilling out. It's like a tidal wave. See all the water coming out? Look how big these doors are. Is that for me to go in?
Roger that, Cap.
Thank you, appreciate it. About to put it in reverse. Front of my boat's 10 feet from the point. Been in neutral for a while now. I realized wrapping the rope one time was not letting it slide, so I unwrapped it and just went once around the inside of the pin. Brought it back to the cleat that I would actually hit my mainsail or my jib on when it's tied up. And then I go and adjust my bumpers. If you should have more bumpers on the front than you would think, because it automatically kind of pulls the front of your boat towards the concrete wall. So then pretty much I'm going to adjust the back bumper, and then I'm going to loosen the dinghy and get it behind the back of the boat, and then we're going to start going up.
I believe I'm good to go. Okay, we are going up. There's no question about it. Not a small amount either. I guess this is how it works, right? And it's coming, it feels like it's coming from the front. Like the front of the boat is higher than the back. Yeah. Well, it looks like he's up there with a lot of cameras. Very nice guy. Very nice people. Yeah, so once you climb up the ladder there, there's ladders to get up to the top right there. Okay, it's good to know.
She's got a smile, and it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was expressions of bright blue sky. Now and then, when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. If I stay too long, I'll probably break down her.
Alright, so the doors are opening. It's easier than docking. It's easier than docking. You got just throw a rope around the pole. Make sure your boat doesn't have. The thing is, there's a bridge right here that I might be taller than, so we might have to turn around and go through another lock. We'll see. Do YouTube? You ever watch YouTube? Another time, another place. It's my 4th year traveling around. So check it out. I'll have your voice and everything on the next tape. Another time, another place. No worries. I'll have all that, going through the lock in the next episode. Okay. Do I cut left and go where the net is, or? Okay. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Looks like you got it by at least about 8 foot or so, Cap.
Thank you. What is the height there, just so I know?
I want to say we were looking at right at about 48 foot, something like that.
Okay. So I'm more like 40, 44.
Roger that.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Roger that, Cap.
Plugged in. A movie's going on the TV for the dog to stop him from barking at everybody, which won't help. And then I'm going to take the dinghy around this peninsula to a restaurant and get me and River some burgers, I think. This has been another time, another place, one more episode down. Basically, next week we're going to look at Lake Pickwick and the fall colors up here. I typically don't ask people to do this, and I don't really push it that much, but I gotta start doing it. Can you guys put a thumbs up and comment? Even if you just say, hey Martin or hey River, it would help me a lot with getting the channel to grow. So I would appreciate it. And of course, subscribe, share. Subscribe, share. Thank you.